So hello Samarth. First of all, welcome to Margdarshan and congrats for getting selected in BRC. So Samarth, थोड़ा बच्चों को बताइए आप अपने बारे में थोड़ा बताइए, आप कहाँ से बिलोंग करते हैं, कौन से ब्रांच है, किस स्पेशलाइजेशन है, ईच एंड एवरीथिंग, अ डिटेल्ड ओवरव्यू अबाउट योरसेल्फ.
Yeah, thank you, sir, first of all. And my name is Samant. I was born and brought up in Hyderabad. I'm from Mechanical Engineering Department. I graduated from a government college in Hyderabad in year 2024. After that, I started working in a private industry as a designer. And along with work, I prepared for this exam and tried to, you know, move to this next level. Yeah.
ओके. तो समर्थ, अब आप थोड़ा बताइए, अभी जैसे आप ऑलरेडी एक कंपनी में भी वर्किंग है, डिजाइन कंपनी में, राइट? मेरी बात हुई थी आपसे कि आप एक वर्किंग एक्सपीरियंस है, एक
Yes.
वर्किंग प्रोफेशनल के साथ साथ आपने बीआरसी को क्रैक किया. पहली चीज तो कैसा लग रहा है आपको बीआरसी क्रैक करने के बाद में, और आपने इसको मैनेज कैसे किया, टाइम को मैनेज कैसे किया? क्योंकि आपने मुझसे कहा था कि सर मैं चयन बैच में नहीं, मुझे अभियान बैच चाहिए, एंड बिकॉज मैं पढ़ नहीं पाऊंगा. ओके, तो किस तरीके से आपने पढ़ा?
Yes.
ओके, तो वो थोड़ा सा
Yeah.
बताइए, बिकॉज बहुत सारे बच्चे होते हैं कि सर टाइम नहीं है, टाइम नहीं है, एंड विद इन ऑलमोस्ट 1.5 मंथ मिला था आपको पढ़ने के लिए. सभी को
Yes.
मिला था 1.5 मंथ, एंड ऊपर से आप एक वर्किंग प्रोफेशनल है. तो एज अ वर्किंग प्रोफेशनल बहुत कम समय है आपके पास में, कैसे आपने बीआरसी को क्रैक किया, इसके ऊपर थोड़ा डिस्क्राइब करिएगा आप. क्या मैनेज किया
Yes.
आपने?
Yes. So I think we all agree for the fact that it would the time would be limited when you're working parallelly in some company. Initially, I think my journey started from the gate preparation journey itself. Maybe last year, let's say around September, October, when gate form got out, I decided to prepare for gate another time. I tried to prepare in college, but not successfully. I tried to take some time out and prepare for college. Then I have used all the resources available in YouTube. There are a lot of Maharevision videos and crash courses available in YouTube from different GATE coaching institutes. I've tried to take them as my preparation material, and I've just tried to maintain consistency. All I did is just prepare the subject using Maharevision video and solve questions in them so that I can build my concepts all along while solving questions. After this, I have written GATE. Then I got an idea about what I know, what I don't know during the mock interviews and during the mock GATE exams also, and during the actual GATE exam. We tend to know our strengths, what are our weaknesses. We know what subjects we are good in, we know what subjects we are bad in, right? After this, my GATE went really bad. I got a rank about 1400 rank. I got some 1470 or say 80 rank around that level. And there was this another chance I have, that is the BIRC written exam. So I just continued my preparation. I just continued to do the revision. Once you make the notes, it's just revising it and solving the questions. After completing this, after this, I continued to do the revision and given the BARC exam. Luckily, cutoff this year was also comparatively lower, 89. Maybe it's higher than last year, but I think it was lower. And I scored somewhere around 128 or related marks. So I was lucky that I got shortlisted to the interview. After getting into the interview, I knew for a fact that interview preparation is all about practice, gaining that practice, ability to talk. So I was looking for, any coaching institute which provides mock interviews. There were few coaching institutes which are providing free mock interviews, but they were limited in number and they were at their ease. They provided at the time when they were available for. I have taken them also, and then I came across, our Margadarshan team, where I have taken this Abhiyan batch, which is like completely pure mock interviews batch. Even Chayan batch was being offered at that time, but because there's a time restriction in the Chayan batch, I couldn't take it. So I have taken only mock interviews course. My main preparation strategy with work was spending time with the books. I had downloaded books in the PDF format in my personal laptop. And whenever I used to come back from my office, I used to spend some 1 hour or 2 hours to revise the concepts using standard textbooks. When you actually refer to these standard textbooks, heat transfer Eunice Sengel, thermodynamics Eunice Sengel, strength of metals Bjorn Johnston, Geraint Timoshenko, and for fluid mechanics again Eunice Sengel. These are the four subjects, but which are my favorite subjects for the BARC interview. So these four books I downloaded in the PDF format, which are available in the internet, and I started reading concepts with it. And also I made friends from the Margdarshan group. I had a friend named Sunil who I got to know because of Margdarshan group, because he was preparing for NPCL and I was preparing for BARC. We both had similar interests. So we both had a weekly connect over the call to discuss what he had learned that week, and he used to prepare some interview questions the whole week, and he used to ask me over the call, and I used to prepare the same thing, and I used to ask him over the call. So this discussion, I think, helped us a lot. And also, I think I have gained a couple of interviews for the Margdarshan team at the Abhiyan batch also. Those were some eye-opening moments. Like there were tips which said, do not go on the assumptions that you already have in mind in the interview. So things like this, I think you'll only learn if you give mock interviews, or you'll only learn if you talk to people and there is someone who is hearing you. If you are sounding overconfident or underconfident, these are some things that the only other person can give you, and these are the things I think help me crack the interview. It's more about my technically gate journey helped, but preparing for the interview, I think talking to people helped me more than preparing alone.
Okay. So Samarth, talking to people, here's also one drawback coming. Okay, what the student do? Student, they give mock to their friend only. Giving the mock to their friend or giving the mock to the experienced person or the senior,
Yes,
it is going to help, or giving to the friend, it is going to help you.
definitely giving to a senior person helps because he will be able to guide us in the right way. If the person is experienced, if he has actually been through those interviews couple of times and actually cracked them, he knows better, right? He knows better what's going in the minds of the interviewer, or how to think in that particular situation. As I told you, this conversation with friends should be for technical discussion. It should be how deep a person technically can go, but to get the real interview experience, to make sure that we understand what we are doing, what we are speaking in the interview. Sometimes we get panicked and we don't know what we are speaking in the interview. To get that real feel, I think we need to have that interview feeling. I mean, we need to have the mock interviews with experienced personnel only.
Right. So guys, at Margdarshan platform, we all are experienced mentors who currently are working in one of the PSUs. Okay. So समर्थ, अब थोड़ा आगे चलते हैं. लाइक ये 1.5 मंथ में आपने, जैसे मुझे जो समझ में आया, आपने बुक्स को रिवाइज किया बिकॉज कम
Yes.
समय था आपके पास में. तो बुक्स रिवीजन एक और भी बड़ा ड्रास्टिक चीज हो जाती है, बुक्स का रिवीजन. ओके, क्योंकि इतनी सारी बुक्स 1.5 मंथ में तैयार करना ये बड़ी बात है. ओके, तो
Yes.
आपने स्पेसिफिकली कुछ चैप्टर्स पढ़े थे या फिर प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चन का एनालिसिस करके वो टॉपिक्स को रिवाइज किया था? इसके ऊपर थोड़ा बताइए. और अपना जो इंटरव्यू एक्सपीरियंस है, अपना जो बीआरसी में लाइक जो क्वेश्चंस पूछे गए थे, कितना इंटरव्यू एक्सपीरियंस था, एक शॉर्ट में थोड़ा बताइएगा. बिकॉज टोटल बुक 1.5 मंथ, इट्स
Yes.
इम्पॉसिबल.
Yes. Yes.
राइट.
So the books I mentioned right now, I actually have gone through them during my college days. I spent the whole semester in a single book back in my college for my semester exams and my college level interviews. So that actually helped me. It was just gaining back that traction when I hold the books. That is one thing. And of course, no one can read the whole book. At least in 1.5 months, you cannot read four whole books. So what I did was, Margdarshan team actually kept on sending relevant interview questions in the group in image and text format. I collected each one of those and had a repository in my laptop. And I used to try to solve them on my own with my present knowledge. Whenever I used to get stuck, I used to ask it in the group or check it in a textbook. What is the approach is there in a similar textbook? So like that, I get to discover that, okay, these topics were more interestingly described in this book, or this topic is better described when you're talking to the other person. Also, I think right now people have to start using technology. I use ChatGPT for few of the doubts wherever I had regarding formation of sentences. Let's say I had a concept in my mind, but I didn't know how to describe it because I didn't have enough grasp of it. Maybe in that aspect, ChatGPT help, but when you actually directly pose a technical question to it, I'm pretty sure that it'll give you a very wrong answer. So don't trust ChatGPT on the answers, but just on the formation of your answers.
राइट.
Always go for experts or textbooks for your correct answer.
राइट. राइट. तो सैम, दैट्स अ वेरी गुड थिंग. ओके. सो वो जो क्वेश्चंस थे बेसिकली, ठीक है, आपने तो चेन बैच नहीं लिया था. मैं स्टूडेंट्स को बता देना चाहता हूँ गाइस, जो ग्रुप पे मैं वो क्वेश्चन सेंड करता था या हमारी टीम जो सेंड करती थी, उसके जो सोल्यूशंस थे वो हम चैन 2.0 में किए थे. अनफॉर्चुनेटली सैम ऑलरेडी वर्किंग प्रोफेशनल, तो ही वाज नॉट एबल टू वॉच ऑल द रिकॉर्डेड कोर्स बिकॉज इट इज ऑलरेडी, आप देख सकते हैं, 300 आवर का वो रिकॉर्डेड कोर्स था वो. ओके, लाइव प्लस रिकॉर्डेड कोर्स था जहां से आप क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग डेवलप कर सकते हैं. Many of the times Sam has also joined us
Yes.
live, and he was able to develop the critical thinking also in that case, right?
I would like to mention one Harshraj Singh sir's name here. Harshraj Singh sir, I had a chance to attend his heat transfer lectures I attended more than 6 of his heat transfer lectures, and I should say I have learned way more than I read any textbook over there. He just deep dives into the topics which are very interview relevant, and he explains them, and the discussion happens in such a way that it is very interview relevant. Because when I faced the interview, I saw that the next question is based on the answer that you're giving now. And that's how exactly the discussion went during the live classes during the Chayan batch. Even though I couldn't have time for all the lectures, I attended 6+ lectures, and I should say it is really worth taking it.
राइट सो गाइस, हर्षराज सर के उन्होंने बात करी, ही इज ऑल इंडिया रैंक 96, डीआरडीओ साइंटिस्ट। ओके, सो ऐसी हमारी टीम बनी हुई है जो ऑलरेडी इंटरव्यू क्लियर करके ऑलरेडी वर्किंग है, आप लोग का तैयारी करवाते हैं इसमें। ठीक है, तो आप लोग भी यूटिलाइज कर सकते हैं टीम मार्गदर्शन को। ओके, आगे चलते हैं समर्थ। अब थोड़ा इंटरव्यू एक्सपीरियंस बताइए, आपका कैसा था, आपका इंटरव्यू एक्सपीरियंसेस, क्या क्वेश्चंस पूछे गए थे, क्या आपको जॉब ओरिएंटेड क्वेश्चंस पूछे गए थे, या फिर जो बेसिक्स होते हैं, लाइक जैसे एक फ्रेशर को एक क्वेश्चंस पूछे जाते हैं, वो क्वेश्चंस पूछे गए थे, उसके ऊपर थोड़ा बताइए आप।
Okay, so when I entered the interview hall, they just asked me what was my name, and then they just wanted to verify my name from the application form, and they clearly mentioned that no questions from my job background will be asked for back interview. And they were like, they were clear on that. They wanted to only ask me basic engineering or physics questions, and based on that your interview will be judged. We don't want to know about your job experience, or we don't want to discuss your job experience in this particular interview. That is the first statement that was told to me in the interview. After that, they directly asked me, what are your favorite subjects? I said strength of materials, heat transfer, fluid mechanics, and the thermodynamics. These are my 4 subjects that I told them in the same order. And they asked me to write it on the board, and I wrote it. And the questions were pretty, you know, unconventional. They were not textbook related questions. They were all very conceptual questions. The first question I had was, did you ever see a shower in the bathroom? I said yes. Then what they did is draw a pole of length L and attach a pole of horizontal pole of length L to it and put a shower head here. So this pole is of length L and this pole is of length L and there's a shower head here. Now start designing it. I was kind of taken back by that question, but I started thinking about it. I tried to give some answers and then I got clicked like, okay, water is coming out of the shower head. So I tried to answer saying that water is coming out at a constant velocity v. So there's a thrust acting on the shower head. Because of this thrust, there's a concentrated load here. Because of this concentrated load, there can be moments acting across this, and this is a frame, and there are 2 joints, this joint and this joint. So this is the answer I gave them. Then they asked me, okay, draw the free body diagrams. Do you think there are no other forces acting? I said self weight, I said water weight, and they asked, they probe more. They were giving me hints. But unfortunately, I couldn't catch the hint during the interview hall. After coming out of the interview hall, I got the hint that I couldn't use it in the interview. Basically, what they wanted me to do is wanted me to use the word pressure. So whenever there's a pipe, water flows in it, it is because of pressure. And if there's a pressure, and if the shower is closed, there will be 2 types of stresses which are forming: hoop stress and longitudinal stress. So using that, you need to design that particular pipe cross section. So I couldn't catch that in the interview, and I was like incredibly disappointed when I came out. And I thought I would not be selected based on this. But again, this was my first question. It went really bad. After that, heat transfer started. They went to the heat transfer and they asked me very basic. There are 3 slabs. The middle slab is made of uranium. The left and right slabs are made of aluminium. Now you bombard some neutrons onto the uranium plate, and there's uniform heat generation happening here. Now try to draw now draw the graph showing how will the temperature profile change with respect to time in uranium plate.
ओके,
Now,
लेट
yeah,
जनरेशन।
yeah, heat generation with respect to time, how is the temperature profile changing? And when it reaches steady state, how it is going to look like. Then extend it to the aluminum plates, then extend it to the ambient. How is the temperature profile going to look in the air because of convection? Now, what happens if you change the convective conditions? What happens if you change the plate's thermal conductivities? What happens if you increase the amount of heat generation by twice? If you make the heat generation twice, whatever the initial value. They probed a lot of questions, which are based on my answers only in heat transfer. They asked, I think, more than 10 or 15 questions, and only heat transfer took 35 minutes approximately for me. They probed a lot of questions and they went to all different conditions. What if one side is insulated? What if both sides are insulated? How would you calculate the amount of energy lost to immediate surroundings on the one side or the other side? What if convective conditions on the left are faster or double of that of right side? What if there's forced convection on one side, free convection on the other side? All these temperature profiles were asked, and also they asked one numerical question, not numerical, I would say, maybe derivative based, like prove that the temperature profile would be steeper in air region than in solid region. There is a solid air interface and there is a temperature profile that comes, right? So the dt by dx in air is more than dt by dx in solid is what I've drawn in the figure. They asked me to prove that. That also I tried to prove using very simple, I mean, thermal conductivity dt by dx is equal to constant on both sides. The thermal conductivity of solid is higher, so dt by dx is lower. They're satisfied with that answer, and my heat transfer went really good. After that, they moved to thermodynamics. In thermodynamics, they asked me a question. They asked me to consider a spherical vessel. This spherical vessel is having superheated steam. Now, upon cooling this spherical vessel, the dryness fraction of the steam has become 0.5 from superheated. Now draw pressure versus time, temperature versus time, specific volume versus time, dryness fraction versus time, mass of water vapor versus time in a single graph. Time was the x-axis and all of them were y-axis. They gave me different colored chalks.
Yes.
So I tried to draw them. I mean, this was not direct answer. They didn't give me a question, I didn't directly answer. I was giving my assumptions and they were agreeing, they were not agreeing, they were giving me hints. Okay, I was taking them. And then I drew one thing and they tried to cross question it. Why do you think it is that way? Why can't it be this way? So it was all went again a 20-25 minutes of discussion on the graphs.
Okay.
And it didn't at all feel like an interview there back when it come to this point. In strength of materials, it felt like an interview. They were asking questions and I was trying to answer. At this point, it was like a complete discussion between two fellow engineers. I felt really good when I was doing that. I was able to answer, let's say, 50% of that question. 50%, I think I didn't answer well. I think I gave a very wrong answer. But they were looking at the approach only at this question. And then they moved to fluid mechanics because time was limited. And I think 1 hour was up by then.
Okay.
Now, fluid mechanics, they took a spherical, again, they took the same spherical vessel. Now there's a hole on top and there's a tap on top. There is a pressure gauge which is fitted on the bottom of the spherical vessel. Now, if you open tap, the water with constant velocity is falling from the tap. Now draw pressure in the pressure gauge versus time diagram from the spherical vessel. That was a very tricky question, and I took, let's say, I was able to answer it luckily. I took around 15 minutes to draw. Now they took a very long. They asked me to draw a very long graph. Mark points: time 0, time 1, time 2. At time 0, the ball was empty. The spherical vessel was empty. At time 1, the spherical vessel was full because of tap filling it. From time 1 to time 2, there's a hole in bottom of spherical vessel. Tap is closed and now spherical vessel is completely emptied. Now draw this complete graph. How will the you know profile look? Pressure versus time profile look with respect to time. They asked me to derive why do you think it happens. I mean, nothing was numerical at this point. They wanted to give me qualitative answers. They wanted to explain me why am I drawing a graph conically, let's say convex. Why is it concave? Why should it be concave? Those are the kind of questions that were asked. What happens to the slope? And this went on for 1 hour 20. This went on to 20 minutes. Until here, it interview was 1 hour 20 minutes. Then they asked me to erase the board, come sit on the chair, and then they asked me introduction. What did you do? Where did you come from? Then they asked my college, and they're like, okay, please take this slip and give it outside and go. That's how my interview ended.
Okay. So great, Samar. So you are from Hyderabad only. Maybe
Yes.
training will be in Hyderabad only, I guess.
No, I got the offer, and I think it's in Mumbai.
Achha, training is in Mumbai.
Yes.
Okay. Great. Great. Samar, last question I would like to ask you. After not giving the answers in the panel, okay,
Hmm.
still then you are selected. So what you find basically in your interviews, or either approach is important or either giving the correct answers that are important. Just tell this because students are very confused in this कि मेरा आंसर गलत हो गया तो मैं सिलेक्ट नहीं होगा, है ना? इस तरीके से होता है, एक
Yes.
माइंडसेट बना है, आपका भी माइंडसेट होगा इंटरव्यू
Even
से पहले.
yeah, even me. I thought I would not be selected, and I wanted to go for NPCL. Okay, maybe I'll try NPCL better is what I thought. But what I think they were seeing is the ability to think in multiple ways. Because whenever they said an answer was wrong, I didn't stop. I tried some other approach. I immediately changed my route. I tried different approach. I tried approach one, approach two, approach three, and they were appreciative of it. They were looking forward me. They were looking me like they were expecting me to try different approach. So I think I matched that. That helped, and also yeah, that's it. You just need to be telling what's on your mind outside. That's what I would say. We would think a lot of things as engineers, we would think one approach, two approach, three approach, maybe articulating it will help a lot. And also, I think they weren't even expecting answers from my side at that point. Weren't expecting correct answer. They were expecting an answer and a justification, technical justification that I could give. If the technical justification was right or not is what they're concerned about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Great, Samar. So we'll conclude. Before that,
Yes.
last thing I would like to ask you, like if you want to give any tips to the upcoming students or upcoming fellows, right? What they should do. Like suppose now the interviews will be coming for other institutes also, like other organizations like DRDO, ISRO. Okay. So so what will be your tips, and should they prefer markdation or not? In that sense, whatever are your views, you can present that.
Based on my experience with Margdarshan in the Abhiyan course, I think it's definitely worth taking. It gives you a perspective to think about. They will help. I mean, the team is very responsive. We get our doubts clarified, and you will get most importantly, you'll get a community of people who are very serious in their preparation. I think that community helped me more in my journey, because I was already working and I couldn't find enough time to study on my own. I could drop a question and I could give my views and get counter views on my views. So the community helped a lot. So it is worth taking up Margdarshan. And I think the courses are priced at a very good amount. It's a very minor amount for the amount of help that we are getting from you. So that I would like to comment on that. So in terms of tips, I would say expect unconventional questions which are never asked before, but don't panic. Since the questions were never asked before, I think they also know and they also want you to think in a way that was never thought before. So yeah, so just keep your mind open when you go to the interview. Maybe have a cup of water, a glass of water when you go in, and don't hesitate to ask a glass of water or anything if you're panicking and if your throat is going dry. I asked a glass of water and they didn't mind. They gave me a glass of water. They asked me to relax, then continue my answers. So you can also do that. It helped me a lot.
ओके, नाइस नाइस समन। तो कैसा लग रहा है अभी आपको फाइनल सिलेक्ट होकर बीआरसी में?
Yes, I'm feeling happy.
अच्छा, यू
I started my preparation for BRC and GATE, so I think I achieved my goal.
ओके,
I'm
ग्रेट
feeling
ग्रेट
happy.
ग्रेट। दैट्स अ प्राउड मोमेंट फॉर यू एंड योर फैमिली। ओके, तो ठीक है समर, हम इसको कंक्लूड करते हैं। नाइस इंटरेक्शन। ओके, थैंक्स अ लॉट, थैंक्स।